Destiny, a concept you either feel fear or comfort in. Or indifference, who am I to judge? But I have some problem with it. Having your fate written down beforehand, some force deciding where my life is headed.
Chew.
In popular culture, we see the positive side of it. A hero destined for greatness. But as one of my beliefs is that there's always a negative in a positive, and there is a positive in a negative, the villain of these stories are destined to be villains, either born that way, deciding on it, or forced to it. Video games have its share of chosen heroes, like the Belmont family, Spyro the Dragon, or Link, the hero of, Time, Twilight, Wind, Trains?
Here I come, rougher than the rest of them.
Anyways, there is no shortage of heroes chosen by the gods, and now they have a new member in their family. Noctis Lucis Caelum, the protagonist of Final Fantasy 15. A prince born to become the King of Light, whose sole purpose is to vanquish the darkness known as the Star Scourge, a parasite that not only creates everlasting night to the world, but also turns men and beasts into the most horrific atrocities that you can imagine. Demons, with A and E, not just E. But I digress. What is interesting to note is that Noctis is not the only chosen hero in this game, or rather the lore of Eos, the world of Final Fantasy 15, as there is someone who met with a terrible fate, for only to become the end of other people's destinies, and this person is...
Hello there! Hello! Good day to you! And you? Permit me to stand on ceremony and introduce myself nonetheless. Ardyn Izunia, Chancellor of Niflheim.
Ardyn Izunia, the man behind every big event throughout the story of FF15, and also the main antagonist, who is the very essence of the Star Scourge itself. As long as he lives, the plague will still be around. At the beginning, he seems to simply be a scruffy, mysterious man who helps our heroes on their journey, saving them from danger, allowing them important items to continue onward with their quest. Now Noctis needs to get the favor of the entirety of the Astrals, who are the gods of Eos, to get their power to complete his destiny. So why would Ardyn Izunia, the one keeping the epidemic still around, help our hero on that journey? Well, it can all be explained by one sentence, which is said right before the final chapter of the game.
Ardyn Lucis Caelum is my proper name.
Yes, Ardyn's true surname is Lucis Caelum. He is part of the royal line whose job is to protect the crystal, so that the chosen son of Lucis will rise up against the darkness. Yet is this the reason for why he is helping our boy band? Well, let's go back in time to find our answer, all the way back to the beginning. To understand this individual, we need to look into the Star Scourge, the parasite that creates demons from living beings and make the world go into an everlasting night. We don't have every piece of information, so a lot must be logically put together. One fact being that the parasite originally came from the meteor, residing in the disk of Cauthus, as Ardyn himself states so. In the German version of the game, don't worry, I'll return to why this version has evidence behind it later. But one of the previous mentioned astrals, the Titan caught the meteor and is still holding it up.
But the Archean caught it.
And he's still there, holding the thing up.
Guess he never misses leg day.
To battle the Star Scourge, the Astrals decided to grant the Crystal of Light to the King of Lucis to combat this horrible epidemic. This king had the ability to heal the afflicted, and he went on a journey to save the sick people as he was a good man. And this man's name was Ardyn Lucis Caelum, who was the first king of the Lucis line. After all, the meteor who brought the parasite landed on Eos thousands of years ago, and Ardyn reminisces on the parasite like it arrived when he was alive. And considering that Noctis is the 114th king of Lucis, and that Ardyn is...
I remembered I'm immortal. Such is my blessing and curse.
It's highly possible that he was the first in his name. There is also the fact that Bahamut apparently gave the power to heal the afflicted to a maiden in Tenebrae, making her the first oracle, and gave the crystal to the losing king at the same time. However, Ardyn had that ability, and as he remembers when the Star Scourge began, he was given both the crystal and the ability to heal the ill. So he has to be the first in his line. Plus, I highly doubt that the believers of the Astrals would write the tomes known as the Cosmogony books that tells the lore of Eos would ever write down such an horrible, misguided things on how the first son of Lucis fell. So, how did he fall? Well, as Ardyn healed thousands of people around the land, he started to be viewed as a messianic figure. Do you see the parallels? But one individual felt jealousy over the healer's selflessness, a future king who would eventually ascend to the crystal, and in his growing hatred for Ardyn, wanted him out of the picture, and he would get his chance. How it happened we do not know, but Ardyn was deemed unfit to ascend to the crystal, as his body and soul was corrupted, because as he did indeed heal the people from the parasite, how it actually works is not that great. He doesn't kill the parasite, he absorbs it into himself. And as the light of the crystal hurts demons, Ardyn couldn't even touch it.
Unharmed by the light, the chosen king.
And the jealous one found this opening, because if Ardyn was hurt by the light, that could only mean one thing: the healer was a demon. So the new king had Ardyn ostracized and demonized, leaving him alone without friends and family. But that wasn't the worst of it. In the German version of the game, the fallen son of Lucis states that the jealous king had him executed. But if the English version doesn't say this, how can we be sure, I hear you ask? Well, the developers of the game gave us all the evidence we needed through a piece of concept art. So death was his reward for healing the sick. Being hated by the people he saved, left by his friend, killed by his own family, as Lucis Kylum dynasty still were alive after his death. And considering that both Ardyn and Noctis can control the royal arms, which are the weapons used by the previous kings of Lucis, it simply proves that the jealous king was a family member. Yet his destiny wouldn't allow it to end there, as instead of becoming ill of the parasite that he had absorbed throughout the years, he gained immortality. So nor physical trauma or time could end the life of the hero, who went into hiding after his own execution. Now throughout the game we see a man, full of hatred towards the Lucian royalty and the crystal. But here is a question: if he is willing to destroy the crystal, the souls of the previous kings and the gods, why is Noctis alive? Wouldn't it make sense that in one's anger and revelation of the ability not to die, that you could just kill the man who did everything against you? Well, I think that if Ardyn was once a man seeking to help the people just out of the goodness in his heart, he would not instantly seek revenge. If anything, he may have felt a great sadness at the beginning. And as the clock started to tick throughout the ages, when there are no more tears to be shed, only despite and bitterness lingered on. Sadness will always heal through time, but hatred is like a lingering poison, a parasite. So he realized what would be the ultimate revenge, and started to create a plan, one that would spring into action when the chosen king would be born. For one simple reason: to give his own life to destroy the old scourge. 30 years before the game begins, Ardyn joined the Empire of Niflheim and rose through the ranks like there was no tomorrow. He gave them information on demons, a topic no one else could possibly hold a candle to when it comes to knowledge, and he became the Chancellor of the Empire, standing by Emperor Aldricap's side, manipulating him with his charisma and the promise of the crystal's power. Jump 20 years into the future, and Ardyn gives the Empire the knowledge on how to mix humans and demons, turning them into magitech, mass-producing them through cloning, causing the Empire to grow even more powerful. However, some individuals disliked this path.
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la.
Having gotten to where the game is about to begin, the Empire now decimates Lucis in any battles that they have, not including the magical wall keeping the capital city Insomnia safe. Yet during one battle that the Empire was winning, they suddenly retreat, to the surprise of everyone. But then, out of the blue...
Hello there!
Okay, this cutscene is a bit too long for this video, no matter how awesome and intimidating it is, but it pretty much goes like this.
Hello! We've won! I don't care! Hi!
Ardyn condescendingly states that he is there to give the news that the Empire is willing of forming peace with Lucis, as long as they give all territories, aside from Insomnia, to Niflheim. And this is where the first king finally can begin, with what he has been waiting for thousands of years. By telling King Regis that Noctis and Lunafreya, the chosen king and the Oracle, has to get married. The reason for this is that to get Noct, the only one Ardyn really cares about, out of this. Yeah, it was also to make sure that Lunafreya would have to stop acting as the Oracle until they are wed, as apparently that is the law, making the parasite work a tad bit unstopped. Kingsglaive, the movie, takes place during some of the first chapters in the game, so before the war starts, and Noctis and his group has already left the capital, they have their first meeting with Ardyn. Considering that he has already been in the capital a couple of days before, giving his little speech, it is highly possible that he is in Garden Key to make sure that Noctis is there and unharmed, and, of course, to get a look at him. Only introducing himself as an impatient traveler, which I suppose is not really a lie, gives the destined hero a coin, which later is found out to be a coin issued to commemorate Lunafreya's ascension as an oracle, which is limited run minted. Returning to the movie, Ardyn is not seen in battle nor in the Crystal Chamber as it is stolen by the Empire. However, he is with Emperor Aldercapt when transporting the crystal, and is also with him when seeing the capital fall to the demons. Nothing truly worth noting here, only that he was watching as his former home, the place he protected for such a long time, is being destroyed by his own plans. Speaking of his plans, they require him not only to make sure that Noctis is safe, but also to guide him. One way to the Titan himself. When the group arrives in Lestalem, a big city close to where the meteor crashed, they meet up with the impatient traveler, who is willing to lead our group to the Disc of Cauthus. Now before the drive, he states that this is not a race but a chase, yet in the German version there is another funny tidbit, as he states, "And don't you dare to tailgate and scruffy my beloved car." Rawr. Maybe it reminds him of his old black chocobo, who knows. Leaving the group to meet the Titan alone, he doesn't return until after they need the help to get away from the area after Noctis was able to make a covenant with the Astral. And this is also when he fully introduces himself as Ardyn Izunia, the surname of which Ignis knows the owner. Saving the group and leaving them to themselves at the Chocobo farm, Niflheim has Regalia, our hero's car, taken to an Imperial base. Whether Ardyn had anything to do with that is uncertain, but there really isn't anything from him to gain from doing so, yet when the group sneaks in to steal the car, he does show up, showing that even if he doesn't gain anything from what is happening, he's following Noctis around, which will be more apparent the next time they see each other, as Ardyn saves them from Ravus, brother of Lunafreya and newly appointed military leader of Niflheim. He tells the group that he will take the army away, and that next time they will meet will be across the sea. Plus he also tells them that Niflheim has some business with one of the Astrals there, helping the heroes yet again, giving them information that someone of his position never should give his enemies. Yet, where he promised that they would meet next in Altissa, he meets them in Vesperpool. Why there? Well, the boat that Noct and his friends are about to use is a bit in disrepair and requires Mithril to fix it, so they need to find the material in a mine.
Let's discuss why you're here. It can't be archaeology. Mithril, perhaps?
This guy's reading our thoughts.
How did Ardyn know that there was a problem with their boat? And he's literally waiting for them. And for the first time, he straight out taunts them, as Gladiolus said he needed to do something personal.
Seeing as you're now a trio. Oh dear. Touchy subject.
While the now three friends are looking for Mithril with the help of
My ding ding dong.
Ardyn starts to show his indirect malevolence towards the Oracle's brother, because the Chancellor is quite aware of Ravus' love for his sister, stating that he knows the price of the Covenant, that the more times the Oracle makes a deal with the Astral, the lives grow shorter. Now, this isn't something the Fallen King really cares about, as he has his own plans.
You let him have it. And do remind him about the crystal.
This is truly where the villain shows his true colors, to not only the heroes but to the player as well. Killing Lunafreya allows the Star Scourge to spread without any halt, and taunting Noctis for losing the love of his life. And through her final breath, what does she do?
When the prophecy is fulfilled, all enthralled to darkness shall know peace.
This is one of the 2 times in the game where we see the spiteful man lose his composure. After all, this young girl, who is in his eyes nothing more than a baby compared to how long he has lived, tells him how the prophecy works, how destiny will follow through to give him his rest, the same force of which gave him all of his hatred and pain. Yet you can also for a second see the man who has lost his hope as well. And this is what causes every decision Ardyn loses Kylum makes during his journey. And they're split into 2. What the hateful monster wants, and what the bitter king needs. Killing the Oracle to spread the epidemic, and to make the chosen king feel loss and pain like he did once before. How can I be sure of this drought of decisions? Well, what is it Ardyn does the next time they meet him? When the group has finally reconciled after Noctis' loss and the problem with Ignis' blindness, Ardyn shows up to make them feel even more apart, making Prompto look like Ardyn, turning himself into the gunman, which is obvious considering some of the lines said during the battles on the train.
There's just too many of them.
Oh, the fun never ends. What's that now? What is my ear?
And later.
How long were you in the dark? I feel I've earned the right to call you Noct.
He kidnaps Prompto, taking him to Gralia, the capital of Niflheim. Now, why would he want to kidnap Prompto in the first place? The group was already headed that direction, as the crystal is the key to stop the demons.
The crystal posed some kind of threat to the demons.
I'll return to that reason a bit later, but it is probably the biggest decision the bitter side of him makes during this game. Just before reaching their destination, Ardyn returns yet again to make Noctis feel the fear of being left alone. Standing above the freezing bodies of Ignis and Gladiolus, gleefully taunting him that they can't get up. But before anything else can happen, Shiva, in disguise as Gentiana, arrives to save the group, which is exactly what Ardyn wants. Remember, he needs Noctis to make a deal with every astral to complete his plan. And the best way of doing so is to confront the group right in front of the corpse of Shiva's giant form. This is also where Ardyn shows us that he is immortal, and that he considers it both his blessing and his curse. Telling Noct that Prompto is in the capital with the crystal, he uses a device to block the prince's power to use his weapons, pressuring Noctis to use the Ring of the Lucii that he hasn't worn throughout his journey, that is required to fulfill his destiny. And while the chosen hero sneaks around Segnotus' keep, Ardyn taunts him over the intercom, telling Noctis how he was the one who showed how the Empire got so far in the Daemon studies, the improvements of Magitech trooper numbers and more. Around the facility there are tons of research papers stating that the disease has started spreading around Gralia, turning its citizens into demons, showing that the fallen hero has finally lost the need for Niflheim and its emperor, who has turned into a demon. Making sure that Noctis goes exactly where Ardyn needs him to go by using mind tricks, making demons do whatever he needs them to do, and just plainly tells him where to go, the King of Demons reunites the group, stating directly to Noct that he looks happy to be around his friends, as having friends is a great thing. He does this as he's getting ready for what he has planned for a while. How will the king react to his friend, who was created by Niflheim? Yes, Prompto was created the exact same way as the Magitech troopers were made, something Ardyn understood when they were on their way to the Archean, and which is why he kidnapped Prompto in the first place, to see if the chosen king would ostracize and demonize his friend for being what he is. He doesn't. Noctis shrugs it off as if it doesn't have any importance at all, silencing the taunting villain completely. Which instead goes all out by sending in the demonized Ravus, who is cursing Ardyn's name with his entire heart, and hundreds of demons to rip Noctis away, saying that the true sign of a real king is to betray their friends. Yeah, this guy really hates his dynasty. And he makes it all too clear to the prince as he recollects everything what happened to him, reminiscing on it as if it was a simple fact without showing a single emotion, telling him his true name, and that he would never guess whose name Izunia was, which obviously was the name of the jealous king. I mean, why else mention it? Ardyn finally needs to just wait for the final stretch, for the ring to absorb the light from the crystal, to use the souls of every previous king, the soul of the crystal and Noctis' own life, to vanquish the darkness of the Star Scourge. And 10 years of waiting it takes. Yet before the two chosen kings can have their battle, there is one who will defend the first king, no matter what. The one who created the parasite. And that is the betrayer himself, Ifrit the Infernian.
Say we give it another shot.
Not. We're going all in.
Ready when you are, Ignis.
Right behind you. One time.
It's over.
Fighting against Hellfire itself, the group was able to push him back, allowing Shiva to finish him off, creating the Covenant with the final Astral, making Noctis lose his Kylum ready to fulfill his destiny. Entering the throne room, we see that Ardyn has hung up 4 corpses for different reasons. Emperor Aldercapt, a man once loved by his own people but turned cruel and insane by his lust for the crystal. King Regis, just another king who deserves death. Lady Luna Freya, to give Noctis the final motivation to kill Ardyn, making sure that he won't hesitate. And Nyx Ulrich, a commoner deemed worthy by the light, whereas the healer of the people of Eos was not. Sitting on the throne with bags under his eyes, he recalls his first words to Noct. Using magic to get Noctis' friends unconscious, he demands a battle between the chosen kings, and that is what happens, clashing their swords together. The man born to become what he fought against, versus the man born to die.
Let the games begin. Where is your head? I see. Oh, this could be the very death of me. A gift for you! No more! My revenge is soon at hand. How long have I waited?
We can see that Ardyn has lost his composure, cackling like a madman, screaming out how even when defeated, the world is still ruined, as he is using all of his demonic powers. And when the final stretch of the fight, he cracks, the monster screaming how Noctis' 10 years in darkness is nothing compared to what he went through. And when defeated by the power of every past king, he lies there, knowing that even as he lost this fight, he won it all. The crystals of light will be gone, the souls of the kings of yore will vanish, and he will know death. And as the healer lies dying on the floor, he asks,
What will you do? Erase me from history once more.
Ardyn Izunia is what happens when destiny decides that you will be the villain of the story. Even when being a true good man, healing sick people just out of the goodness in his heart, he still was forced to become the disease of the world. His sanity ripped between a bitter man, looking for it all to end, and a hateful demon, one to burn down everything the light holds dear, as it took away what he held close. And that is the mind of Ardyn Lucis Kylum.
Now it is over, Majesty.
Thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. It was really long, and I'm sorry about that, but you know, it was really difficult to cut stuff out, and you know, some stuff was unnecessary, but I kind of wanted it there because it's my video. Yeah, there was also tons of stuff I wanted to talk about that I couldn't include, like Ardyn's relationship with Gentiana, that in the Omen trailer, that the crystal is actually Ardyn's voice and not Bahamut's, which is, well, the evidence for that is, you know, the voice. If you listen to Demon Ardyn that's in the crystal at the end of Final Fantasy 15, it's that voice, it's not Bahamut's. Bahamut. There's also one question that I never figured out, I really want to figure out, and there's only one person who can answer that. There in the poll, what would your black chocobo be named? I don't care what Tabata and all those game directors think. You're the canon, so shoot me the answer. I also want to apologize for being so late with this video. It was supposed to come out Sunday, a couple of days ago, but it came out today because it was so long and I really miscalculated how long it would take. So yeah, there's that. I'll still try to get a video out every single Sunday. So, until next Sunday, or actually this Saturday, as I'm going to... Wait, what? No. What? Yeah, this Sunday, I'll see you in a new video. And I will stream tomorrow. If you watch this video when it came out today, I will stream tomorrow. Yeah. See ya!